Hey everybody, Jonks here from Got Friends, and today we're going to be talking about Man's Best Friend Deluxe. It's a brand new add-on that we've added to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 that allows you to add animals to your Copilot. Okay, so you can go ahead and fly with your best friend in either 2020 or 2024 and on PC and Xbox. Okay, so we want to talk about this add-on a little bit today, but more importantly, we want to answer the questions the community is asking. So we've been receiving a lot of emails, Discord support requests, or on the official forums, and we want to kind of make this video to kind of help you guys out. So the first question that's being asked is, hey, how do I even install this add-on? I'm kind of new to installing things in my community folder. How do I do that with this add-on? So I'm going to walk you through that. It's pretty simple. It's drag and drop, but we're going to walk you through that. The second question that's being asked is, hey, what aircraft can I use this in? Can I use this in all aircraft? Can I put this in the single seat fighter jet? What kind of aircraft does this work with? And so I'm going to answer that question. And then the third question that we're getting is, hey, I don't see my avatar in the cockpit. Is this like an issue with the add-on? Is this an issue with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024? What's going on here? So I'm going to walk you through kind of some of the nuances that go along with that system, what you need to look out for, what are some limitations of our add-on because we do have a couple, and what the future what the future is looking like as well for future updates and future compatibility, and what aircraft are probably going to get more compatibility as time progresses. So let's go ahead and answer number two to that question with the first thing that you notice on our website here. It's the first disclaimer that we put right below the add to cart. And it's a special Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 notice. And I'm going to read it word for word here and try to explain it to you guys. So, Man's Best Friend uses Microsoft Flight Sim 2024's native Copilot system. If your companion does not appear inside the cockpit, please contact the aircraft developer and request visible Copilot support. Typically, forward compatible Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or legacy aircraft will not work with this new Copilot system, which means it won't work with this add on. And they should be considered incompatible until they receive either a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 native upgrade or special 2024 character support. So, what we've done specifically for our aircraft, because as you guys may or may not know, we have like the Wilga, the Double Ender, the Savage Carbon. We have a lot of Got Friends aircraft that are 2020 only. They're not 2024 aircraft, they're still old legacy aircraft. Inside Avatar Man's Best Friend, we've built in custom special options that allow you to fly with the new characters in our old aircraft. If you don't care about Avatar Man's Best Friend, you don't care about animals, and you just want to fly with those new actors, you can go ahead and click on our freeware. We have this new thing called the Legacy Character Upgrade that's free to download. And as you can see in the picture here, it adds native co-pilots and pilots and passengers to our legacy aircraft, like the Double Ender, the Wildcat, the Lake Skipper, the Mini 500. It fixes and adds the 2024 native character system to every aircraft in our inventory, except for the Astro one, which has some special issues we still need to fix. But just know, as you can see here with the Man's Best Friend Deluxe, if you already own Man's Best Friend and you're using Man's Best Friend, there's no need to install this add-on. You do not need to install this. This is for people who only want to fly with humans and they don't care about dogs. Okay? But yeah, if for any developer out there who has 2020 aircraft and you want to know how to put 2024 characters into your aircraft, it's free to download. Go ahead, download this. We haven't hid any of our files behind any kind of walls. You can look into it, and it's just adding one or two files to a 2020 aircraft, and that's basically it. You're enabling 2024 characters through a simple file that's replacing your old 2020 characters. So, if for anyone in the community that maybe has a favorite 2020 aircraft that doesn't support this add-on off the bat, I highly recommend contacting that specific aircraft developer, pointing them towards this website, being like, hey, is this something that you guys can do too by adding legacy character upgrades to your aircraft? And the answer will probably be yes. It will just, they're going to have to integrate it first. Um, that's a good resource out there for any developers or for any community members wondering if this works with 2020 aircraft. It definitely does if the aircraft developer has enabled it. Okay. But in most conditions, and we hope that in most cases, you're either using a 2024 native aircraft with Copilot system support, or your old favorite aircraft have already been natively upgraded. If they've been natively upgraded, in that case, they should work off the bat with the Man's Best Friend Deluxe. Okay. So let's go into the next part of the video, which is talking about installing the add-on. How do you install it? Now, there's 3 places you can buy it. You can buy it from Contrail, you can buy it from our website, or you can buy it on the marketplace. It's released on all 3 currently. We're going to walk through specifically how to install it from our website because that's the most complex. Contrail does it pretty much automatically in the background for you, and the marketplace is no question. That one just installs after you purchase it. So this is going to be for those of you who want to install it from our website. So you need to go to your account after you've purchased the add-on. You can go to 2 places. One, orders, where you can see your recent order with your 2020 download and 2024 download. So make sure you're downloading the right zip depending on what version you're using, because there's some people who are flying in the old sim still. So in this video, we're going to be showing you the 2024 version specifically. So you can download it here, or you can go to your download library and you can see it here as well, both the 2024 and the 2020 version. If you can't find it, you can just go ahead and type in something like Deluxe, and you'll see it narrowed down to just the one add-on. After you've downloaded it, we highly recommend installing it to your downloads folder, okay? Because a lot of people have issues where they extract the file directly to their community folder, and as they're unzipping it to their community folder, you're going to have issues like the names are too long. There's some system error that pops up and says, hey, you can't do this, it's not working. So we highly recommend downloading it to the downloads folder. Then you can right click on it from here, and you can either use WinRAR and extract the files, or you can just hit extract all and use the built-in Windows extractor, and then hit extract, and it will start extracting those files directly in your downloads folder. And once that's complete, you're going to have this brand new folder up here called MSF24 Man Best Friend Unzipped. But this is not the folder you're going to put in your community folder, okay? You're going to go one into that, and there's this folder called Got Friends Avitar MBF Deluxe. This is the folder you want to copy to your community folder. And you'll know it's the right one because if you go one more in, you're going to see a layout and a manifest JSON file. If you see these 2 files going one in, you know you've copied the right folder, okay? So we'll go back one. We're going to copy this folder specifically. Copy. Then you're going to go to your community folder. In this case, this is the 2024 Man's Best Friend, so we're going to go into our 2024 community folder. If you don't know where that is, there's plenty of tutorials online. I'll try to drop a link in the description so you guys know how to find your community folder. And once you go there, there's the local cache, then there's packages, and then there's a bunch of stuff. So there's a community 24, an official 2020, an official 24. You're going just into this one called community, okay? Once you're into community, this is where you can right click, paste, and you should have no issues copying this directly into your community folder because you've extracted this prior in your downloads folder. Once it's in, as you see here, you can go ahead and start the sim, and that's all you have to do. So you have it installed at this point, and there should be no issues moving forward. If you do happen to have issues after this point, I highly recommend to double check to make sure you didn't download the 2020 version and try to install it in 2024 or vice versa. Just make sure you got the correct download for the correct simulator. Okay, now that we're back in the sim, it's started up and we can start here. We're going to be discussing specifically how to use the add-on, but more importantly, what are some limitations that come with Man's Best Friend. And there are a couple limitations and a couple nuances that are kind of built into Flight Sim in general that even without this add-on you're going to have issues with. But we're going to try to walk you through some of these troubleshooting steps so that you should have no issue putting your favorite companion in the Copilot seat. So the first thing I'm going to mention here is the first limitation that we cannot overcome. We're hoping to find a solution to this in the future. I'm trying to get in contact with Asobo to see if there's a solution for this, but right now there is none. So the first time you start the game, not in general, but like every day. So if you open up the game at all, you have to select your Copilot for the day. Okay, so by doing that, you go up here to your gamer tag, select that, go to customize identity, and this is where you're probably used to, like, you know, changing your own pilot, what he's wearing or what their face is and their apparel. You can see here at the very end there's a new Copilot. Now, if you scroll down through all the humans, you're going to start seeing these brand new dogs and cats and other animals that we've added. If you see this, congratulations, you've installed Man's Best Friend Deluxe Edition correctly. And like I said in the previous, like if you don't have any animals showing here, I highly recommend to double check your downloads. Make sure you downloaded the right simulator version for the right sim. You've extracted it properly and you ran through no issues getting that into your community folder. If you're buying this on the marketplace, as soon as you enable this add-on after downloading it, you should see animals. Okay, if you're having any issues with that, please email us at our support email. We will take care of you to make sure that you don't have any issues rolling forward. So for today, just like I said, the limitation is you need to select your Copilot as soon as you start the sim. So let's go ahead and select this bulldog. And after you click him, you can like see some of the animation. So if you're wondering if he's going to fit in your seat, or if you have a specific aircraft you're going to try to drag him to like the cargo bay, you can see as you click on them what position they're going to be in for most of the day. After you get through all the dogs, near the bottom, we have a ton of cats that you can go through. Everybody loves some kittens. And then if you go even farther, we have some fun ones like some ducks. Here's Duncan. Duncan's awesome. I'm going to show you a real picture of him on the side of this right now. He's based off my real life Muscovy duck. I love the guy. And then we have some tortoises as well, and rabbits, or a hare for those of you who want to fly with a hare in your cockpit. But in this case, let's go ahead, back up. We're going to choose a bulldog for today's flight. And we'll make sure we choose a sitting down one because he's going to be all sitting real nice in the seat next to us. And then let's go ahead and hit save and back now that you've selected him. And back one more time. And that's it. Okay, at that point, you've told the sim, hey, I want to use the bulldog as my co-pilot. Now, once again, every time you start the sim up, because of a limitation we're hoping to overcome in the future, you need to go back in there and select your co-pilot every time you start the sim. Okay? At this point, let's go to Freeflight and we can talk you through some of the aircraft. Now, if you see it's a Got Friends aircraft, it's going to work. Okay? As long as it has a co-pilot seat and it's a Got Friends aircraft, it's going to work. But I'm going to demonstrate this on something that's not Got Friends because I know there's a lot of questions about, hey, does this work in certain aircraft? If you look here at Pitts, for example, you see in the statistic there's no seats. That means it's a single seat aircraft. But if I go to like, let's see here, Bell, for example, the model 407, see how it says up here seats 2, or I mean 4, it's kind of going away. Let me just click on it. Seats 4, that means there's 4 additional seats in there. If you don't see seats anything, like if I go up to some of these aircraft, more than likely these are old 2020 aircraft that do not work with the new system. So if you see seats in general, it's more than likely using the 2024 system, and so you should be good to go. Okay. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose my first aircraft for the day, which we'll just do the 172. As you can see here, if I click on it, seats 0, oh, it's not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Well, because seat 0, it's a special type of aircraft. So we need to go to configure, and we need to choose a variant that works with seats. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this G1000 edition. It says it has a passenger cabin. Now if I hit save and back, and it says here, Cessna 172 Skyhawk, Asobo Studio, seats 3. Okay, good. We're getting somewhere. So we have some seats in here, and we know that it has a co-pilot seat, so it should work. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit save and back. At this point, just go ahead and go to your favorite airport, and let's spawn in. And I'll get back to you once we're in game so I can show you the next part. All right, we are in game, so I'm going to hit ready to fly. I should look, and there we go. Right where the feet position is where the animal spawns in. So be aware that if maybe you have a tighter aircraft, that the dog might be like underneath the dashboard or kind of hiding away from you. He should spawn where the feet is. That's kind of how Asobo places things on the ground. They make sure that the characters spawn from the feet. Well, since he's sitting on his butt where the feet should go, that's where he spawns in. Okay. Now, if you don't see him, go ahead and bring up your EFB. Go to Aircraft, Flight Performances, Mass and Balance, and here you'll see seat. More than likely, if you're not seeing him, it's because the seat is at 0 pounds. Okay, and if it's at 0 pounds, you can see that 0 does nothing. I can change the weight in here all day. It's not until I hit load aircraft that he disappears. Okay, so if you don't see anything in here, I highly recommend putting in whatever weight you want to do, like 25, and hit load an aircraft, and you should see him in there. Or if he's sitting there at 170 pounds, you know that he's a bulldog and you want to fly realistically, you can change the weight in here. But another good way is if you don't see him, just drag this all the way to 0, hit load, and then drag it all the way back up and hit load again, and then you can mess with the weights after that. But yeah, if you're having issues, make sure you're just hitting load aircraft. You're actually loading the characters back and forth, because just doing weight like this is not doing anything. And that goes for individuals who are using like our legacy weight and balance app right here. Same thing. I can sit here and change Copilot and weights all day. I mean, I'm still going to see the dog because you have to go into the EFB specifically and hit load. And once you've hit load, that's when you're actually going to see the physical difference. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way and you guys know that you load co-pilots through the EFB, let's talk about how to get him so he's not sitting on the floor anymore. He's sitting on the seat. Okay. So to do that, we have this brand new panel. You can see it with the paw print. And this brings up our Avitar Nest system. Now, as you can see here, he already moved somewhere away from where I want him to be. He's not even here anymore because this is persistent. And so every time that you use this, as you can see, I've already moved him outside in a prior flight for a cute little picture or something. He goes back to his last known position. If you want to fix that, just hit the reset to default. He should plant his butt right to where he should spawn on beginning, okay? But this is persistent, so every time you're using these sliders and you're moving him around, it will save. So the next time you use this specific aircraft or this variant of the aircraft, he'll be sitting exactly where you want to sit. As long as you open up the panel right when you load into the flight, he'll move exactly where you want him to be, okay? So in this case, we're going to move him back. We're going to move him up a little bit. We could even tilt him a little bit aft so he's all snug up in his seat. We can even twist him a little bit so he's facing us a little. Move him down just slightly again, and we're going to call it there for the flight. So now we can close this panel out, and he's saved there. So if I go back now and hit restart, just so you can see how this works, and I hit ready to fly, you can see once again he's starting up on the seat, but as soon as I open up the avatar panel, he shifts to my last known setting, okay? So then you can close it back up. So as long as you pop that open, it will load to a persistent location position, so you don't have to do that anymore. And something that's really nice about this, like I said, you can move it outside like I showed you in the beginning to take some pictures, or you could even just move him completely far backwards and have him sit where the passengers usually sit for the whole time, so he can just sit back there. I mean, I've seen some people already put him on top of the roof and they're flying with him up on the roof. So that's how you do it, okay? Now that you know how that works, if you want to change the dog at this point, you got to end your flight and go all the way back to the co-pilot to change your animal. There's no way to change the animal directly from this, directly from like in flight. You have to go back to the main menu. So that's how you get it working. If you guys have any questions on how to get that working, please let me know. I've also had some people comment in questions like they come in here, they're clicking and they just see something spinning forever after they click on an animal and they don't see the animal appear. Just simply go save back, go back again and be back at the world map and then go back in. It's just a nuance with the sim. Sometimes it happens. It's probably because we're loading a ton of animals into this system and it maybe overloads it a little bit. But let's go ahead and choose a mini schnauzer for the flight and go back, go in. We got the 185 Skywagon selected. Let's load back in to our flight. All right, we're back. So let's go ahead and hit ready to fly. Once again, it spawns you outside the aircraft because we're starting cold and dark. Let's jump in. Do we see our pet? We do see our pet. Okay, so this one's not going to be doing that to us, but once again, maybe I have a position here if I've opened it up. Yes, I do. As you can see, I've already had a saved position from before. In this case, it's not working too good with this guy, so I'm just going to go ahead and move him sideways a little bit. Let's move him down so he's on his seat, okay? Good old schnauzer there. And that's it, okay? So that's how you get that working in most aircraft. I'm going to go through maybe one more for this video. If at this point you're comfortable leaving the video, you understand how the add-on works, feel free to give it a like, share it with your friends if they're having issues figuring out how to put animals in the Copilot seat. All right, here we are in the A3 at 20. Do I see an animal? I do see an animal, okay? And maybe if I open this, I have a saved position for him slightly. Okay, in this case, I know a lot of people like the dashboard, so I'm going to go ahead and swing him all the way left, swing him forward. Let's go ahead and unclip him by putting him up in here. We're going to twist him a little bit so he's yawning, looking at us. Move him back a little. We're going to lean him so he's kind of matching the dashboard. And then let's drop him right into it, okay? There we go. We got a sleeping puppy in my field of view. But yeah, as you can see, it's really working on any native aircraft, okay? And just to show you one more, I'm gonna load into a Got Friends 2020 aircraft like the Wilga. And let's go ahead and show you in the Wilga, which is a 2020 aircraft, that this is working correctly. And maybe if it's not, I'll be able to kind of troubleshoot some things. Most of the troubleshooting is going to be done in the EFB, like I mentioned. If you're not seeing something, move the sliders down to 0 pounds, hit load, move it back up, add some weight to it, hit load again until you see your Copilot. And here we are on the Wilga. Do I see the animal? I see the animal. Okay, so like I said, if you guys are really having troubleshooting issues, just go to weight and balance, move this slider to 0. Even if you don't see it, move it to 0, hit load, move it back up, hit load again, and then you can adjust your weights from here. As you can see, we have passengers in the Wilga as well with this add-on installed. So hopefully this answered most of your guys' questions about how to get this working, what kind of aircraft it works with. There's very special circumstances when it comes to 2020 aircraft. Once again, if it's a 2020 aircraft and it's not working, I highly recommend contacting the developer. That way you can point them to the right direction of how to get 2024 characters working in the cockpit. But for the most part, this should be working with every single 2024 native aircraft that uses the Copilot. I know for one example, there's the icon. If I go ahead and search the icon, it is a 2024 aircraft. But people have been saying, hey, I don't see my Copilot. And as you can see here, seats 0. That means what ISO was doing, because this is a 2-seat aircraft, what they're doing is they've turned that second seat into a passenger seat, not a Copilot seat, which is, some aircraft do that, I guess. In this case, hopefully they update the icon in the future so that it does have a Copilot. But you can see seat 0. I mean, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. There's a lot of aircraft like that are maybe single-seater or have no seats, even though they should. In this case, this should have one seat that's like shared for co-pilot or passenger, but it's not. So it's not going to work. So no matter how many times you fly with the Icon, you're not going to see um, a co-pilot seat unless there's a special variant that I'm not aware of, which I highly doubt. Yeah, it's just one variant, even it's passenger. So what they're doing is they're loading a passenger in the second seat instead of a co-pilot. So you're not going to see the animal in the Icon, but hopefully that explains some stuff here about how things work. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us once again on the forums, on our email address, or in our Discord. There's support channels in there that you can post. And once again, thank you for supporting us. Even though this add on's a little experimental and fun, it's exactly who we are as Got Friends. And we're always kind of pushing boundaries, and it will just get better with time. So I see more aircraft getting more compatibility in the future. I see us fixing some of these limitations, like having to select your avatar at the beginning of every flight. And over time, these things will get better, and we appreciate you kind of coming in and supporting us and helping us fund that future so that we can and keep improving and keep moving forward as a company and bringing new and fun, exciting things to you all. Thank you again, and I will catch you all on the next one. Thank you.